Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Okay, it's officially college essay season, hence this gorgeous music that we're playing. And with the new role that AI will be playing in their college experience, students may be looking for a little extra guidance with their essays. Here to help, we welcome back personal branding and writing coach MJ Halberstadt. It's great to see you.
It's really nice to see you too.
Just thinking about the concept of writing a college essay, I'm right back there in high school, and the sense of panic is coming over me. It's a daunting task.
It's a daunting task. It is a writing assignment unlike most writing assignments that high schoolers have experienced up to that point. They're being asked, what do you think?
Yes.
What was your story? And a lot of students struggle with an essay that's not academic.
Right. Well, and you have great perspective on this being on the admissions side. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience reading a lot of these essays?
Yeah, oh my gosh. So I was an admission counselor from 2010 to 2016. And yeah, each of us in the office would be given a different geographic region, and we would read all the applicants from that region.
Wow.
And yeah, on a typical reading day, we would try to read between 30 and 40 applications over the course of that day. I would play the Harry Potter soundtracks on loop just to have like a feeling of forward movement. But every time you pick up an application, you're rooting for the student. You want it to be a good one. You want the essay to be a good one. So admission counselors are rooting for you.
Absolutely.
For sure.
You have the sense that these are young kids finding their way in the world, and they have so much ahead of them. So beginning with like maybe the toughest first step for a lot of kids is what to write about. That topic is so overwhelming. Yeah,
and some might not like me saying this, but often the ideas that our parents suggest are not the best ones.
True.
I would recommend that students look to the period of time between half a year and 3 years ago.
Okay.
So something that's recent but not totally fresh and raw, that indicates a moment in your life where you made an important choice or discovery about yourself. And there's often the advice out there to like try and find the most interesting thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah.
That's often not a very good essay topic because you're not the protagonist of that story.
True.
It doesn't reveal as much about who you are and who's going to be showing up on that college campus.
That's a great perspective, and it doesn't have to be, everyone's life and life story is different. You don't have to have saved the world or made this monumental discovery to write a great essay.
Definitely not.
Okay. We're going to get there.
Yes, we are.
And the word count, that's also a big challenge too.
It often is. So it's possible to get the word count in your head too early.
Right.
So I always recommend to students, write too much. We can sculpt it down, we can winnow it down, but it's much harder to try and add stuff in a way that feels intentional than it is to give yourself too much inventory and then sculpt a really good story out of that.
And then do different schools have different requirements? So then are you kind of adjusting what you're writing to, if you're going to send out 20, 40, 50 applications?
Oh my gosh. Oh, don't do that.
Don't do that.
But yeah, so when we talk about the college essay, we're usually talking about the common application essay.
Okay.
And the common application is accepted by most of the colleges and universities in the US. Not all of them, but most. And then many colleges and universities also require what are called supplemental questions, which are specific to the college. So it might be, why Elon? Or Emerson College has one that's, if your life were a story, what would the title be and why? And so there are things that get at the unique character of that school and give the student an opportunity to showcase why they are compatible with that school. But when we talk about the college essay, we're talking about the 650 word limit personal statement, which has 6 prompts that students can choose from, but one of them is write an essay on the topic of your choice. So it really can be anything.
So open-ended. So how much weight does that essay hold versus your grades, your SAT, your extracurriculars? How much investment should we be putting in this?
Yeah, that's a great question. I will say that it can have a really big effect. It might not, because there are plenty of students who are so competitive just based on their grades, based on their co-curriculars, that they are definitely a great match for the school. It's often those students who are on the bubble or students who are applying for really competitive programs where the college is looking for a really diverse class where the college essay can make or break a student's application.
What should we be thinking about or aware of in terms of AI and how that might impact this process?
It's so hard to know.
Yeah.
The thing is, colleges are catching up, and faculty are figuring out what's going to be the policy in this department, what's going to be the policy in this class. I talk to faculty all the time who are figuring out what their internal policy is going to be. And so I think that students can expect that when they go to college, they're going to be actively engaging in the question of what AI is going to look like in the future of their education. When it comes to writing a college essay, though, I will encourage any student to write the essay on their own, not just because I think it's the right thing to do, although I do, but also because I think that writing a college essay is an opportunity to celebrate your journey into adulthood and to take stock of why you're choosing to go to college. And it can be a real opportunity to celebrate and to sort of ritualize your coming of age as a young person.
Give yourself a high five and get excited about what's next in your journey.
Yeah.
Do you have some simple things in terms of starting an outline or steps to start with if you're kind of feeling stuck?
Yeah. So I usually recommend that students write what I call a spit draft before they think about outlining. The spit draft is just dump everything on the page. I call it dumping all the Legos on the table, and give yourself too much to work with before you start outlining it. When it comes to looking for a good idea, I have a list of questions that I give to students that I humbly believe are better than the common applications questions.
Okay.
One of them is, what is a mistake that you made that you learned from?
Oh, that's a great one.
And a lot of the best essays that I've read have at some point showcased the writer in a sort of humbling light.
Yeah.
There's one that I always think of where a student was a lifeguard and had to chastise a parent with a baby who had an accident in the pool.
Oh
and
my gosh.
But had to
deal with that.
Had to rise to the occasion and deal with it in a way that really shocked herself, and she was like, oh wow, I can stand up for myself and for the community around me.
I don't envy being in that position as a teenager.
I know. But it wasn't the most flattering story that she could have told about herself, except that it told us a lot about how she thinks, and I'm thinking about it all these years later.
Yeah, and I mean, my immediate visceral reaction is I can just picture that moment so clearly, and what a great story.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's always fun chatting with you.
Of course, you too.
Great advice. We'll have these tips and more information about MJ on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Light right after this.